Good morning, everyone. Today is Sunday, and today we have an incredible episode of Voices Across the Universe. It is pretty special, not only because I'm on a different location, and this is La Quinta Miss Venezuela, but also because our guest is an incredible woman, and she's from Philippines, Celeste Cortesi, Miss Philippines 2022. Hola a todos, ¿cómo están? Feliz domingo. Hoy vamos a tener un episodio muy bonito, especial, no solamente porque lo estoy haciendo desde una ubicación distinta, ya no es mi casa como todos los domingos, sino que estoy en la Quinta Miss Venezuela. Y además porque tenemos una invitada de lujo. Ella es Celeste Cortesi, Miss Filipinas 2022. She is already set and ready to start. So I'm going to accept her request, send her the invitation. And we are ready to begin. Celeste Cortesi, Miss Philippines 2022 is going to be today with us. How are you guys? I'm reading your comments. Hello.
Oh.
Oh my God. Well, I was saying good morning here, but it's good night there, right?
Yes. How are you?
I'm doing good, babe. How about you? How was your day?
In this live, we've been planning for a long time.
True. Thank you so much for making it possible, because I know that your schedule was pretty full, but we made it happen. So thank you.
That's important.
Listen, Celeste, it's so nice talking to you because we have so many things in common. Cool. I'm also like so curious about Philippines, and I know that also all the public that is here with us is passionate about pageantry, and we both know that Philippines and Venezuela are so strong and well respected. So it's going to be an amazing conversation. Are you excited?
Very excited. I can't wait. Let's go.
Well, we can start talking about those 5 curious facts that I mentioned you about Philippines. Okay, we can comment on that, and as I tell them, you can say if they're true or not, or maybe you can add something else. And also, if you want to know anything about Venezuela, I will be glad to answer.
Yes, of course. All right.
So in the first one, I found that Philippines is home to the world's longest underground river. It is deep underneath the San Paulos Mountains range in the island of Palawan. Is it true?
Oh, wow. Yeah, actually, Palawan is one of my favorite places in the Philippines. Okay. And you're also getting me about this topic because I've been there many times, and actually it's my favorite beach whenever I go there. So I never explored the river, me personally, but I can say Palawan is one of the places that everybody should visit when they come here in the Philippines. Definitely. It is beautiful.
So now you have one more reason to go and spend some time there. It is the world's longest underground river. That's amazing. Now, number 2, I found that Philippines is an island with more volcanoes than towns.
Yes.
And you have an island, which is Camiwen, and it is only 14 miles long and 8.5 miles wide. But it's the only island on the planet with more volcanoes than towns. It boasts more volcanoes per square mile than any island on Earth. And if it was not enough, you guys have also the largest volcanic eruption in the last 50 years. That one occurred in the Philippines.
Yes. Actually, this is actually very interesting. We have so many volcanoes. My mother is from Bicol, which is the home of Mayon volcano. And I visited that place. It is also very beautiful. And, me personally, I'm also looking forward to explore more about the Philippines because, as you know, I came here almost 4 years ago. So I still have so many places to explore. And I'm happy we're doing this conversation because I'm actually also learning a lot.
Yeah, we're both learning. That has happened with most of the candidates. That's like, sometimes they tell me, that's so interesting. Like, I knew about it, but I know the fact, like deeply.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because we learn your countries, but we are both learning a lot. And sometimes we talk about those curiosities that are similar to things here in Venezuela. So it's pretty amazing. I'm glad. Now, on third place, and this one is a fun one. It says that karaoke is a popular national activity. It's regarded as a social activity, and it forms an integral part of the native people's daily life. Have you done some karaoke in Philippines?
Wow, okay. So I have to say the Filipino people in general are very blessed with the talent of singing. Me personally, Filipina, I am not good at it.
Okay.
But I've so many parties where, you know, karaoke is, it's really a thing. Like they really set up everything. Every single party I went to, there is a karaoke.
Okay.
And honestly, I am not good at it. But, you know, Filipinos in general, they have an amazing voice.
Yeah.
I think that I got my voice from my dad, which is Italian. So I'm not very blessed with that talent. But in general, yes, that's true.
But I love your accent, okay? You have that particular Italian accent. I lived in studied there, and all my friends have that Italian accent when they speak English, and I fell in love with it.
Thank you.
Okay. You didn't take part of the karaoke's, but you saw them on the parties and the celebrations, right? So it's pretty common in Philippines.
Common. Well, you know, when I'm with close friends, I take part to karaoke. Even though my voice is not really nice, I still sing. But you know, it is really a thing, and it's very, very fun, to be honest.
I have to say that's a thing in common we have, but I do enjoy singing. I don't know how to sing. Like, I'm honest, I not my best talent, but I do enjoy a lot. Like, really, like I can enjoy karaoke to the most. We should do karaoke together. Yeah. The fourth place, that Philippines is the home of Asia's first basketball league. Basketball is a national obsession in the Philippines, it says, as a sport. It's thought that the love affair began under American colonial rule during the early 20th century, when it was first introduced into the public school system as a women's game. That's super cool.
As women's game, I honestly did not know, but I know that basketball is really famous here in the Philippines. I also have a lot of friends in as basketball players, so I used to watch a lot of games, and I was surprised because of course I thought football would be more famous here, but then again, basketball is really the sport here in the Philippines, and it is really fun to watch. I started to be very passionate about it in here, so it is true.
Once to a basketball match. I also felt like here in Venezuela, I'm passionate about soccer mostly, but here in Venezuela, we have, and it's like really the greatest sport to watch here, and people are more passionate about baseball. But if you would ask me, I would say soccer, because it's also what I'm more passionate about. My dad was a soccer player, but those other sports have also like a big weight on our countries.
Yeah, that's true. Definitely.
Yeah. Then on the fifth place, I found out, I'm not sure what is the description of this term, but jeepneys are still the most popular mode of transport in Philippines. It says like jeepneys are synonymous with the Philippines because after World War II, American troops left behind thousands of surplus jeeps. Resourceful Filipinos cobbled these together and converted them into transport vehicles that can hold up to 20 people at one time. So that one has a lot of history.
That's true. Actually, jeepneys, I see them around every single day. So it is really a thing here in the Philippines, not only in the city, but also in the provinces. It's really the mode of transportation of so many here in the Philippines. So that's totally true.
Go on them, because it's also beautiful when things like this have story, then you in behind that thing that you're trying. Maybe this kind of vehicle is not a common mode of method of transportation, but it carries on a lot of history. So
that's true. Actually, I learned a lot from this as well, a lot of history.
In this case, I have 6 because I have one last curious facts that is not only about your country, it's about something that we have in common. Because I mentioned at the beginning that we probably have a lot of things in common. And I was told this about maybe a friend of yours. I don't know if you guys are friends, but I had an interview with her last week. And when I was telling her my story, she was like, you know that you and Celeste have many things in common, and this is one of them. Because this curious fact that we have in common is that we both arrived at the age of 17 to a new country without speaking a word of the national language. And that's something I admire, you know, from people that get the chance to make this kind of personal challenges. And now knowing that we both experienced that at the same age in similar situations, that's something.
Yeah, I have to say, honestly, for sure, it is the same for you. It was really a challenge, you know, when you're so young and then you have to take risks. You have to move to another country where you're not familiar with, you don't know the language sometimes, you don't know the culture and the traditions. So it is really hard to adapt to the situation. But then again, I wouldn't change anything if I could go back on time, honestly. Everything made me the woman I am today. I became very responsible, independent, and I learned so much about the Philippines, which is, you know, my heritage. So I'm very happy about it. What about you?
Yeah, me too. Absolutely. Well, in my case, I was going to a new place. I didn't have a family there. I didn't know anyone out there. It was to Italy when I won a scholarship to study in Italy. But initially, I was going to study in English. And then a month before my career started, they changed it to Italian because I had to change, or I would have to change the career and the location. I was going to study in Rome, so I wanted to remain in Rome. And I remember I called my parents and I just told them like, okay, this is happening. I just received this mail. What should I do? Like, I know Spanish, I know English. I also know that Italian is kind of similar to Spanish, and in case they don't speak in English, and they just told me like, you gotta take the risk. You gotta challenge yourself and try it out, because what's the worst thing that can happen? You know, like maybe it was going to be difficult at the beginning, making yourself be understood, but it was a decision. Just as you said, I wouldn't change it, like not at all. It was so helpful to make me grow as a woman, as a professional later on, and I really would ever regret.
That's amazing. I didn't know that. So, did you learn how to speak Italian a little bit, or how long did you stay there?
Yes, I studied in Italian.
Wow.
In italiano, anche se vuoi.
Wow, I love it. That's so good.
See,
That's so good.
and it was the one who told me about this curious fact we have in common. So she told me like, if you're having this conversation with her, you can ask her maybe if she wants to speak in Italian also. So if you want, at the end we can give some words in Italian. But I was sorry.
Let's do it. Yeah, of course, let's do it.
Great. I was so happy to hear when you were selected, when you won your contest, that you were also part Italian. I was like, okay, that's one more thing we can share in common.
Yes, I grew up in Italy for most of my life. So I was born here in the Philippines, but when I was only 6 months, my family had to move to Italy because of my dad. And yeah, that's where I grew up. And then I came here only 4 years ago. So Italian is my first language. And then I just learned how to speak English.
Great. And from which city, or where did you live in Italy?
From Parma, which is very close to Milan, just 1 hour away. Yeah, I've been to Rome so many times. It's actually my favorite city in Italy. So I'm sure you had a lot of fun.
A lot. Where are you in the Philippines? What's the name of the city?
Oh, sorry, speaking of, I wanted to tell you because this is another thing that we have in common. So my dad actually was born in Venezuela.
Oh my God. Yeah, I read that somewhere.
Yeah, so we had a lot of things in common. That's amazing.
That's like a lot of things in common, like culture Many things. And where is he from? From which city?
I don't know if the pronunciation is correct, but I'm gonna say it in Caracas.
Caracas. Yeah,
Caracas.
correct.
Okay, yes, that's where it's from.
I am right now, the capital city. That's great. Please say hi to your dad. I'm so glad to hear that. Well,
That's
this is the
amazing.
this is the first way of getting into the next topics we're going to talk
Mm-hmm.
about. But after the five curious facts, I like us to talk about our history. Like, how did we arrive to pageantry? So I would like to know, in your case, how was it? Because I know this is not your first contest, your first beauty pageant. You also competed in Miss Earth. And how was
Mm-hmm.
it? Like, since which moment in your life you decided to get into pageantry?
Okay, so for me, it's a very long story. Actually, as I said earlier, I grew up in Italy, right? And when I was around 18 years old, I had a very strong desire of going to the Philippines, basically just to visit and discover more of my roots. I had a lot of questions in my head, so I really wanted to go there and explore more. And let's say that my way to go to the Philippines was joining this pageant, which is Miss Earth. And at the time, it was really for the experience. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know that pageantry was such a big deal in the Philippines, to be honest. As I said, I didn't know how to speak English, so I was very new. I was very young, but yeah, I was kind of crazy. I was like, I wanted to do this, so let's do it. So I was very wanted to take risk and do new things about my life. So I just decided to do it, and just happened that I got very passionate about it. I won the national pageant, and so I had the chance to represent the Philippines in the international stage. I have to say, now looking back, I was not ready at the time because, again, I was very young. And then while I was representing the Philippines in the national pageant, I was also trying to adapt to the new culture, to the new language. So it was very confusing. Like my head was spinning the whole time. But it was definitely an amazing experience. Honestly, if I didn't do that, I wouldn't be here right now. And yeah, then I just took a break from pageantry like around 4 years. I really told myself, if I want to do pageants again, I want to have a purpose. I want to decide to do it. And, I really want to put my 100% focus. I want to be ready. I want to feel like, the Philippines is my country, so I want to represent it. And so I waited. I waited 4 years. I was adapting to the situation. I was working here in the Philippines for a very long time. And then I decided I am ready. I want to join Miss Universe, and this is my time to represent the Philippines again. So, in short, yeah, this is what happened.
Wow, it's really a long story, but it's amazing that now you look back and you're able to realize those things. Like, you now understand that at the moment you were not ready, but also you understand that that experience is what now makes you be even more prepared.
Yeah,
Because if you didn't have that first one, now you would be in the same status, like starting from zero.
that's,
I can relate to, even if this is my first international contest, but I
oh
was
wow.
like, oh. And I remember that many people asked me, like, why are you not competing in the December edition, the one that was in Israel? And here in Venezuela, it's used to happen this way. Like, you are selected and you have 1 year to prepare yourself. But sometimes it happens, sometimes it's less time. And sometimes I thought about it, like, how would it be, or how would it have been if I competed, immediately, if I had competed immediately? And I really think I wouldn't be the same person. Like, I have grown a lot, like, really, personally, professionally. Once again, as a woman, I'm much confident than ever. And I'm really glad about that. I think that we all are experiencing that growth, within us. But even if our experiences are different, our history is different, we share that in common. Like, we are all finding that through pageantry we are able to get to know ourselves better,
Mm.
to get to connect with that purpose even better because you get the chance not only to be prepared with classes and makeup and runway, you also get the chance to explore within and understand what is that thing that you want to communicate to the world.
That's true. And pageantry, it really takes time for you to it is a big decision, honestly, because you have the responsibility of your country, which is a heavy weight on your shoulders. And that's why I'm very glad that I waited years before really deciding to join, and I really had the time to prepare for it, because again, it is not an easy task.
Yeah.
You have to be ready, you have to know what's going to happen and why you're representing your country. So it is also a very good chance for you to get to know yourself so much better and so much deeply.
Absolutely. Yeah, you need to be ready to assume that big responsibility because it is big. And now I'm going to take the opportunity to ask you something that I have been asked so many times, but I think you are the perfect delegate to ask it and know, how do you feel when you get asked this question? Because I can imagine it has also happened to you. Being both Venezuela and Philippines powerhouses in pageantry, as they are called, how do you deal with the weight of the sash or the weight of the responsibility of being the representative of a country like ours that has a long history in pageantry?
Well, as I said earlier, I represented the Philippines a long time ago, and at the time, I did not know the pageantry were so big here, because I was totally new, like not even
Same.
a month in the Philippines, and I was already competing. And that kind of experience really made me understand the importance of being prepared, the importance of knowing your purpose before you go through a pageantry. And I know that the Philippines is a powerhouse. I know there is a lot of pressure on me, but then again, I am here to not only represent my country, but also to represent myself. I want to be real. I want to show who Celeste is. And I hope that the Filipino people will be happy about it and they will be proud of me at the end of the day, whatever the result is going to be. So, whatever is going to happen, we also have to understand that joining a pageant is not easy. You really carry a lot of weight. And I see so much hate on social media, not just towards me, but also towards other candidates. And sometimes I really do not understand it because, again, we're here to support each other. We're here to show our culture, our traditions, to, also be friends and empower each other. There is no need to spread so much hate on social media. So the pressure is there, but, I got this. We got this.
Got it. Yeah, the pressure is there, but I always say like it's up to us to decide, do we want to manage it? Like, do we want to feel it as a pressure, or do we want to feel like there's people supporting us? But it's up to also how we communicate the things we want to do or how we receive that support. And as you say, it's not easy. It's even more for countries that have a big culture and pageantry, like the expectations are really high. But I also feel identified with what you say. Like, I also feel that the key is to stay aligned with yourself, with who you are, show your personality, be real, natural. And also these kind of spaces, like, believe me, that was the first thing I thought when we started to create the project Voices Across the Universe. It's like, I want to talk to my Miss Universe sisters like as natural as possible. I want it to be like the first conversation we have previous to meet at Miss Universe, but I want us to feel already sisters, already together, because this is about, and sometimes social media can make us get confused, and lost in the middle, because you read too many things, you see so many content. But if you get or you stay connected to their reality and to what really matters, then I think that there's nothing able to stop you or to make you lose your focus. So I'm glad that's the way you approach it.
Definitely. Yeah, it's very important. Sometimes we lose sight of what really matters in the competition. Like sometimes, we see all of these comments and we're like, oh my gosh, I want to win, I want to win. But then again, like always remember why you're here. It's also important to respect each other, to empower each other, and that's the main reason why all of us join Miss Universe. So
Exactly. And that's also the reason why Miss Universe exists, as a whole, as a beauty pageant. Like they are not selecting 80 or 90 women just because they want. They're selecting us and giving us that incredible opportunity of participating, also because they want to see us grow. And what better way to grow than staying together and helping each other grow even more? So I'm so glad. I'm so glad that, and I'm sure that we're going to have an incredible experience, because I have also felt this energy with the other girls, and also in the group chat we have. There's a pretty beautiful energy in us.
yeah, definitely. And us girls, as you see in the group chat, we're very friendly to each other, we're very kind, and honestly, I'm very glad of that, because this is what is Miss Universe about. So I hope we continue doing that. I hope we continue supporting each other.
Exactly. And now getting into preparation topic, how is it being? Because I know that it's pretty different from the first experience you have. But what's that thing that you say, like, wow, now I realize what is this about? Like some things that you didn't do before at that first time, and now you're doing, maybe as classes, or maybe as the approach that you give. How is it being different, and what are you enjoying the most from this new experience that you're living?
Honestly, so many things. I feel like um more than, well, I believe that having an advocacy is very important when you join a pageant in general. But beyond having an advocacy, I think that it's important for us to think of the people that are following us and looking up to us, the example we want to give out, the kind of role model we want to be. And that's something that I didn't have before. Why? Because I did not know myself at the time, because I was still exploring my character, my personality, my culture, my roots. So I did not have that. And how can I inspire other people to be themselves if I don't know who I am? So I feel like that I really entered this competition wanting to, kind of break this stigma around the beauty queen that has to be perfect. She has to act in a certain way, to dress in a certain way. It looks like she cannot make any mistake. But I feel like we're still human beings. I feel like that being relatable is the best way to inspire other people to also be themselves, to love themselves, and to take risks, and to not be afraid of anyone's opinion. Because at the end of the day, you should never let your mistakes define you. You should never let other people put a limit on your dreams or your capabilities. So that's exactly why I joined, and something that I didn't have before, but now I'm very sure of who I am, and I hope that people will appreciate that.
That's amazing. I love that. I love that. Also because how old were you when you competed the first time?
I was only 19, so
Yeah.
super young.
And now you're 24, 23?
24.
20.
24.
Okay, good. Well, I'm 23. We're not that far away from each other.
Yeah. Well, how old are you?
Sorry?
How old are you?
I'm 23. I'm 23. So we're
okay.
almost the same.
Sorry, yeah. I'm gonna fix it. So hot here right now.
No worries, no worries. How's the weather here, actually? Like in Philippines, do you have winter?
No, not at all. It's hot all the time. So right now I don't know, my AC is not working, but I'm sweating. So anyway.
No worries. You look good anyways. You're so pretty. I read all the time, like, oh, they look so beautiful. Celeste is so beautiful. That's so true. And you're natural, and you're not afraid of showing yourself like just as you are. And that's super valuable.
Thank you.
I'm glad to hear how your experience changed and how you're approaching it now. So I'm pretty sure that all this will make us grow, and even more as the contest reaches the time to begin. How are you feeling now, knowing that we are less than a month, like almost 3 weeks from meeting at New Orleans?
I am so excited. Honestly, I would want the pageant to be tomorrow because I really could be there. Like, it's been, well, I was one of the first girls to be crowned. So it was like 7 months ago. So I'm really like, I've been waiting this whole time and I just want to be there. I want to meet everybody. I want to start the activities. I want to explore New Orleans. There's so many things I'm looking forward to. So I really cannot wait. I'm very excited. What about you?
Yeah. No, me too. I'm actually, well, I think that that's also similar in both of us. You're going to the US before the contest, right?
Mm-mm.
I'm on the 16th. I think I read that you're also living nearby those dates. And I'm going to say, sorry?
You're also 16?
I'm living on the 16th.
Ah,
Yeah.
nice. We can meet. Where are you going to stay? In Queens or somewhere else in the US?
No, I'm going to be in Florida.
Okay, I'm going to be in LA.
In LA. Okay, well, let's see
We can.
if you get the chance to go to Florida, or I get the chance to go to LA, so we'll surely meet before. Anyways, time will pass by so fast, and we close in our eyes, and we are already in New Orleans meeting.
That's true.
And look, I think one of the most important topics about pageantry, and you mentioned it before, I think twice, is that it gets you also the opportunity to connect with that purpose, that advocacy that we all have. I always say that we all have a purpose. It's a matter of understanding which one is it and how do we want to work towards it, or on its purpose. So in this case, what are you working for? Like, what would you say it's your purpose or your advocacy for this competition?
Okay, well, to be honest, I feel like nobody was born knowing their purpose. It is really a process. And I think that, our purpose does not just go around our advocacy, but it can be so many things. Could be how you want to inspire other people, could be what is your goal for yourself and your family, and could also be your advocacy. So for me, I really discovered a passion working with Save the Children Philippines, which is an organization here in the Philippines that, focus on malnutrition and hunger amongst children. I was able to go to some remote places here in the Philippines, and to be honest, it was very heartbreaking because coming from Italy, I did not realize the discrepancy that there is between rich and poor. And it is very breaking because you really see these families not being able to provide for their own children, not being able to have access to basic human rights like food, like healthcare, education. And I remember when I was talking with one of the mothers, I asked her, so what do you tell your children when you don't have any food to give them? And she immediately cried. And it was very heartbreaking because the first thought I had was my mother when, she was raising me and my sister as a single mom in a foreign country, and she couldn't almost provide anything for us. But, she fought so much and it was very challenging. So it is an advocacy that is very close to my heart, something that I really want to work with Miss Universe also after the pageant. Definitely, I feel like the Philippines need a lot of help. And, I hope I could do something to improve those lives.
Mm-hmm. Great. And I think we connect even deeper with those advocacies, as you say, even if they can be different from our life purpose, but we connect even more when we feel them close to our story. And I feel so great that you got the chance to get to know this organization and go and work with them, but also identify that it's part of your history and that's why you want to support it. That's amazing. That's amazing. And have you done like continuously activities with them, or how is it working? Do you go and do sessions with them, and
So
how is it?
I go with a group of people, so we choose which province we should go to, and usually our provinces that really need help from Save the Children Philippines. And what I really really love about this organization is that they really take care of the children in a holistic way, meaning they don't just feed children for a day, but they really give sustainable programs to the mothers. They give education for the children, so it is really like a holistic way to take care of them, and I learn a lot from it. Honestly, I realized things that I did not even know before, like the Philippines in general really opened me to a new perspective of the world that I didn't know before. And that's why I truly feel that in general, not just as candidates but also as people, we should be able to recognize our privilege and share our blessings to others and do something that is really meaningful in our lives. And in this case it's Save the Children, but could be anything. Honestly, any help that could be good for your people, why not doing it? So
Exactly. I believe we can all do that from the tools we have in our hands. I work, for example, like the base of any project I do is my career. I studied fashion design, but I was told sometimes, like, why are you going to study fashion? It is so, only about aesthetics, so superficial. And I was like, it can go far beyond that, but it is up to us to decide how do we want to apply it. So my challenge was understanding if I felt passionate about fashion, but I am also passionate about helping people and making my actions have an impact. Now, how am I mixing those things together? How am I working for a good consequence from fashion? If I'm a professional of the industry, now I believe it's also my responsibility to do it. So I also started creating those projects around what I did around fashion. I started working, even when I was in Italy, I started working with my country, with a brand here. And that was always my goal. So I always motivate people and try to make them realize also that no matter if you're a designer, it doesn't matter if you're an engineer, a dentist, you can do it from whatever your area is. The thing is wanting to do it and identifying how can you have that approach to life, because I believe it's not only about social work, it's about a lifestyle, it's about making it part of you.
That's why it is very important that for example, for us candidates, when we go to a competition, it's important that the advocacy we bring is something that is very close to our heart. And that doesn't mean that you were born having that advocacy or purpose. Sometimes throughout your journey as a human being, you find out so many things about yourself. You find out your core, where your heart really stands. And as long as you're able to do something meaningful and share your blessing to others, and you do it genuinely, that's all that matters for me.
Absolutely. And I love the way you described how our purpose is different from our advocacy, and how your life purpose can also be in a constant evolution, because as you mentioned, we don't came to this world. We didn't come to this world already and with the whole knowledge, in our minds. I do believe we all have that purpose, but we don't all know which one is it, and probably it's not that easy to identify it. When I was going to participate in the Miss Venezuela, in the national pageant contest, I started analyzing everything that happened in my life before that point, and that made me like get an idea of what my purpose was at that precise moment. But afterwards I was like starting from scratch once again, because it was like, okay, now I achieved this, and now I need to get this even higher. No, where am I heading now I need to start analyzing again where my purpose is leading me to. So that's beautiful about life, about pageantry, that it's not rigid. It's not like only one thing and you need to get attached to that. No, you can be in a constant change and evolution, just as life is.
Exactly. I totally agree with that. Yeah.
Definitely. Well, Celeste, this has been a super fun conversation. I am so glad that we found out so many things and learned about our cultures, exchange about our history and about our preparation. And following the slogan of the project, which is two women, one powerful message, I would like you to close the conversation sharing with us what would be your conclusion from all the conversation, everything we talked, like what would be that strong message that we can give together to everyone who's here watching with us?
Okay, so well, first of all, since we just talked about our advocacies and purpose, I would want to really share with the audience the importance of sharing the blessings to others. Like, no matter how privileged we are, no matter what we have in life, we have to understand that not everybody is like us. We have to understand that we can share the blessings to others, we can help, and we can always be kind. And we can always be kind to each other. And of course, I would love everybody to support us during the Miss Universe journey. I see many comments online. I would want people, especially my fans, if they're watching right now, to not share any kind of hate, not in this chat and not anywhere else, because hate and violence is not acceptable for me. So I want, I really want us women to support each other, and I want our fans to also support us, no matter where we come from. So I hope we can share more kindness to each other, more love. So, we can represent our country the best way we can. And yeah, of course, thank you so much for inviting me. I'm very excited to meet you in person. And I really cannot wait to be in New Orleans with you guys.
So how you finish, the speech, the message. And I also feel that this campaign that Miss Universe is promoting, the one you were part of, which is the kindest campaign, is essential. It has to be part of this experience that we're living, and it's not only about us as representatives of our country. It is about making everyone part of that movement and questioning ourselves every time that we are going to post something, every time that we are going to make a comment about something. Are we being kind with each other? Are we being kind with that person that we're talking about? And then we decide, and then that answer will tell you if it's okay or not to comment it. But I agree that violence and hate should not be accepted, and it's here, it's in our hearts to understand if we are making it happen or not. So totally aligned with your aligned with your purpose and your energy, your approach. Thank you so much, Celeste, for being part of the project. This is your space, this was your life, and I'm so glad we had the chance to share this moment together.
Thank you, Amanda. Thank you so much. And I really cannot wait to meet you in person.
Great. I hope you have an incredible holidays. I hope we can stay in touch. We're going to be both in the US. So have a safe flight. Have an amazing start of the week tomorrow. And thank you once again for joining us.
Mwah, mwah. Thank you.
Great, guys. So what a best way of starting a Sunday than with Voices Across the Universe and a super special episode with Celeste. She's so kind. She's pretty beautiful, kind. She has that energy that motivates you and inspires you to think about things. When she talked about violence and hate and how it really affects her and how she wants to prevent it, I really felt identified with it. And all her projects, everything she talked and the experience she told us, that's really a story that inspires. So I'm glad to be sharing this path with girls like her and with girls as all the women that have accompanied me in this project and all the ones that I'm still to meet at New Orleans. So I'm pretty excited. I'm counting the days, and I'm so grateful for you guys to be here today. Muchas gracias a todos. Ay, es verdad, estoy leyendo aquí los comentarios. Nos faltó hablar en italiano, pero bueno, les prometo que cuando estemos en New Orleans, le digo a Celeste que hagamos algún videito juntos hablando en italiano. Gracias a todos por acompañarnos. Ha sido otro domingo maravilloso. Qué mejor manera de comenzar un domingo que compartiendo con una de mis hermanas de mis universos. Celeste es espectacular. Ella conecta cuando habla. Se nota la pasión y la entrega que tiene por cada uno de los temas que toca, así que yo me siento más bien bendecida, orgullosa de estar compartiendo este camino con ella y con todas las mujeres maravillosas que son parte de esta edición de Miss Universo. Así que deseo que tengan un increíble domingo y nos vemos más tardecito que les sigo contando de todas las actividades del día de hoy. Voy a leer algunos de sus comentarios antes de despedirme. Ella tiene familia venezolana, sí, nos contó que su papá nació acá en Caracas, Venezuela. Celeste is gorgeous, yeah, that's true, powerhouses. Thank you so much. Vamos a ver qué otros comentarios leo por acá. Dios te bendiga, amén, Dios los bendiga también. Gracias a todos por estar conectados. Ay, qué lindos sus arcillos, gracias. Bueno, este look de hoy luego se los dejo en los comentarios. Estos son de mi queridísimo Walid. Son demasiado femeninos y delicados. Gracias por estos en vivos. Gracias a ustedes por estar siempre presentes. Ay, no, qué belleza. Bueno, feliz domingo, muchachos. Que estén muy bien. ¡Mua! Seguimos en contacto. Les sigo contando de mi día.